from Abuja to Lagos, Joburg, London or New York, wherever it is you're reaching us from. This is still Enterprise Morning on Enterprise TV. And now to our main conversation for today. The Nigeria Police Force has raised an alarm that the ongoing police constable recruitment exercise has been marred by alleged corruption and irregularities in the recruitment of successful candidates, as recently published by the Police Service Commission, PSC.
Force spokesperson Muyiwa Adejobi disclosed this in a statement, expressing dismay over the alleged disappearance of names of screened candidates who were successful in the last stage of the process.
Very true. The police authorities raised the alarm after scrutinizing the PSC's list of successful candidates following receipt of a series of complaints from candidates alleging corrupt practices in the recruitment, and hence the police authorities have dissociated themselves from the PSC list of successful candidates that contained many who failed either the computer-based test CBT or the physical screening exercise, or both, while stating that many disqualified over medical issues also made the list of successful candidates as published by the PSC.
Most worrisome, according to the police force, were allegations of financial dealings and corrupt practices, leading to the outcome where unqualified and untrained individuals became shortlisted.
The Inspector General of Police, IGP Kayode Egbetokun, who had written a letter of objection to the chairperson of the PSC, informed him that the Nigerian police, not the PSC, bear the brunt of recruitment of unqualified individuals into the force and therefore takes exception to such an unpleasant development.
He called for a total review of the process with a view to recruiting only qualified, competent, trainable, and productive hands into the Nigerian police force.
Yes, very well said. And still with us in the studios to do justice to the very trendy and the sensitive topic today is still Barrister Evans Ufeli. Thank you so very much for hanging around and being part of our show today. Now, let's talk about this area. And I think it's very, very important. Peace and security of our society and Nigeria in its entirety is very key and important. And we can do this without a very important segment, which is the Nigerian Police Force. When the Nigerian Police Force is has personnel that are not worthy enough to be called policemen and women, it calls for a big issue, and that's what the police force are talking about. But I'd love to ask you this question from another prism. Don't you think the Nigerian Police Force is having a taste of its own medicine, coming from what Nigerians have known them for?
Yes, you see, the Nigerian Police Force was established in 1930, okay, by the colonial masters. And when that was established, that was the first time that natives were recruited into the police arm, and they were trained to ensure that they protect lives and properties, okay. But corruption set in, okay, at that stage, as early as that time. And that corruption has been giving us a run for our lives since then. Now, this is a very serious issue. Serious because our criminal justice system starts from the entrance level of the police force. You see, this one that the court is doing, the court is doing, the court is not doing this, not doing this, you're not getting it right. It is a whole lot from the entire criminal justice system, the hub of it. It starts from the way you recruit police into the force. Look at the complaint that so many untrainable people are really untrainable. Some people are very foolish. And they are foolish and stupid so deeply that they cannot be trained. They were the ones that made the list. There are financial, some who use money to find themselves there and all that. So at the end of the day, the list of successful people submitted to the authority are people who are not fit and proper for the job. So what it therefore means is that those in charge of the recruitment have been indicted.
And that's the PSC, right?
Yes, they have been indicted. And having been indicted, what do? You have to investigate and prosecute whoever is found wanting to have been involved directly or indirectly in this malfeasance. Because you see these shenanigans where we put forth this morning about this is the future of policing in Nigeria. Because the persons you are recruiting this way, they are going to be in the police force for the next 30 years. Some of them will be in the police force for the next 35 years. Okay? So now, what do you expect them to give back in the next 36, 35 years? They will keep giving back the same thing that they witnessed at the point of entry. You cannot break a fish you cannot bend a fish that is dry. It will break. Okay? So this must be taken very seriously. And I think that the police is even raising this alarm at this time. They make it look like they are actually overwhelmed, or that they are actually it's a new thing. This has been ongoing. Some of the persons raising this alarm are people who still expect police officers in a police station to go out and bring return to the police station. Like the police work is a business. Okay? So it's not just for the recruitment, it's also for the structure of the police force. That a policeman does not get impressed. They have huge budgets, national budget. Their funds are actually under security. So it's largely released, almost like in a first line charge. But it does not get to the foot soldiers, the ones, the DPOs of the police stations who are supposed to be in charge, who are supposed to have impress, so that they do not rely on the police constables to go and bring returns to them for the running of the police station. What kind of returns are they? Are they businessmen? Are they accountants? Most time I find I tell people that the police have no business counting money or talking about money, because that's not their business. They have to protect lives and properties. Okay, so this scandal must be seriously dealt with. We must get to the root.
Yes. While we hope that the scandal, we get to the root of it, I'm just going through the PSC website now, and they're saying that the recruitment, they're saying that it's on merit, gender sensitive, and according to the federal character as the principle that they used to ensure that that list was there. So how do we find a solution when the people that we're asking that they should do the needful are coming up to say, no, everyone on that list was on merit?
Yes, that is what they would tell you. Would they tell you that they collected money or that they did malpractice? But after the recruitment, there's another body that will carry out a check on the successful candidates. And that is what is going on. And I've seen people who are untrainable and they are asking, how did they pass through? How did they go through the recruitment and pass through? So questions have been asked. If there were no malfeasance or corruption, majority of the persons found on the list as successful candidates could not have made it. That's what they are saying. Therefore, we must go back to how they were selected.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry. If they don't go back, this would definitely have a toll on the society, and we, the citizens, would be at the receiving end.
Yes.
Of seeing the happy cop verdict,
yes.
issues. Now, if this is not done,
trigger happy.
Yeah. If this is not done and if they don't go back to actually amend it, what do you think will happen come next 3-4 years from now?
Yeah, no. What you have is even those who are trainable, who are genuine, who passed on merit, when they get to the field, they see the general corrupt tendency and practice. They also cave into it. You understand? So it's bigger than just this issue is larger than telling us a huge number of persons could not have made it because they are untrainable, and many of them came in citing the fact that they had paid money somewhere and all that. It's bigger than that. The issue is we must instill discipline. First, recruit them on merit. That's the starting point. Then when you get the successful candidates who are all on merit, then instill in them the discipline to stay away from inordinate ambition, to stay away from If you have chosen the police force as a career line, I do not think you should choose that career line and want to live like a business tycoon. Because that's what the problem is. People take a career line that if you are successful in that career line, you can at best be a middle class citizen. You cannot take the career line of a policeman and then become Dangote. It doesn't work like that. But that is what these people want to be. Have you seen where policemen are doing internet fraud? Young guys doing internet fraud, have friends who are doing internet fraud, negotiate, protect them, get kickbacks. It's very common. It's very common. So they have pulled out completely from the focus of the job. Now, what they're looking at is survivor, get rich quick. They also want to buy cars as sophisticated as those being used by fraudsters. They want to live like fraudsters too. So at the end of the day, what you have is a complete shift in focus. They are neither policemen nor criminals. That was why SARS was banned. You know, the NSAS protests. Exactly. At some point, these guys started carrying guns, chasing people who were innocent, not innocent. They will arrest you, follow you to an ATM machine. Some of them had POS. Policemen had POS. How they acquire those POS from banks is another issue. As which company now? Which company are they operating now that they are able to acquire? So Nigeria is a huge contradiction. They have POS, they force you to, and all that. So all those issues stem up from recruitment. If you go to the police college, before an investigative journalist did, during Jonathan's era, did a video coverage of the police college in Ikeja, the kind of life, at the police college, the training they got. You saw the beds, the bunks were looking dirty. You had bed box, you had a gutter just beside where you take your meal. You have sewage that is open. Nobody cares about it. You have different kind of, and inside the police college you had a bar where you can take 2-3 bottles. You understand? So when you have that kind of training, entry-level training, so what are you going to give to society? Can you be better than what you know? Because when you sit down and now say the police ought to have done this, the police ought to have done that, from where would they do? From where are they going to draw the inspiration from to do the right thing? So from entry level, you are just structured to be wrong. Then there are some police women, the men and women, but there are some of the police women that you meet on. They are not trainable. They have no business being police women. You understand? Some of them have gone to some places to live some wayward life and then took the police job as an afterthought, as a way to end their career. Those ones will put pressure on you to do things unimaginable. So the Nigerian police force must give us something better than we have now. It's terrible. They need to do something.
Now, some would call this guerrilla journalism, but when you get to comment sessions, that's where you find lots of those. In one of the comment sessions that had this story, one particular person said that was how Abba Kyari was gotten in the first place, and some other persons said that the reason why the Nigerian police force in itself is coming to accuse the PSC is because, possibly, allegedly, they say the money didn't go to them. Now, how do you draw this connect? How true do you think this is?
I will tell you something. The police don't joke with their sharing formula. There's a sharing formula. That sharing formula is colonial. It predates all of us sitting here. I'm telling you, when they say the bail when you pay money for bail, do you know how it is shared? That formula is there, like it's like a constitution, unwritten. But that is how it works. See, the DPO there's a certain percentage that belongs to the DPO. The DPO is answerable to someone at the command, okay, that gets a certain percentage. The team that worked, the IPO and the team, because they have teams, have a certain percentage, which is very low. The inequality, even among their corrupt tendency, is corruption. In other words, they have corruption in corruption. They cannot even be equitable in their corruption.
So they aren't true to themselves.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. You understand? So they do all that. You see, the issue of the money did not reach somewhere may not be unconnected to why we're having this in the public domain. Ordinarily, it does not come out to the public. They have a way of handling it and putting it in order. You understand? But they have so many unwritten rules. Before you say anything to the contrary, they will tell you that that's what they do. You understand? So we must come to that point where the policeman or whoever should know that this money used for bribery cannot take you anywhere. You can't build your life on it. You can't train your children on it. You can't be on the wrong side every time in your life. That's not how to live. So they should give us something better.
Barrister Evans Philip, you're talking about security here because these are individuals or a particular body we are entrusting the life of the citizens
Yes.
to. And this is not just a business conversation. Now, if this particular body, that is the police force, can be this deep, what do we now have to say about when we go to the army and the Air Force? How safe are we in this country? Because if it's this way, what is the future of our unborn children?
No. The army and the Air Force, they are not as deeply entrenched in corruption like the police. This is not to exonerate them from corruption, but they are more disciplined. They are more focus driven, understand the career better. Maybe because they are not really a part of the society. They are not a part of it. They are quartered off. They are supposed to be at the outskirts, in the barracks, and they don't really interface with the civilians that much. It's these days that the Nigerians say, because the insecurity has overwhelmed the police, that they now bring them up as backup. And sometimes they even bring them to mainstream. Their training is not to quell riot, so that everybody will go back to their home. Their training is to kill everybody there. So you don't bring them out like that. The police, they are the ones, especially the mobile police, they are the ones that know how to stem insurrection. Nobody will die, but everybody, the protest will end. And that's their training. But for the soldier to end the insurrection, to kill everybody, that's their training. So you don't even go there. They are not as deeply corrupt like the police. The police are way more prone to society, to interface with society, to interface with arrests and a lot of things. So not like the army, they are better, or they are more disciplined because they are not exposed. The exposure is not as that of the police. The police on daily basis are in the society. The police can actually tell you what is going on anywhere because they are mixed. They know how to go about these things. But you know, when you have a corrupt police, you cannot have a stable society. You cannot, because criminals can call police and negotiate with them and pay them, and they will collect money. So when they do that, society cannot be stable. Society will always have problems. When you have an incorruptible police force, people will be cautious of what they do. People will be cautious. The UK is a police. You cannot even see a soldier. I've not seen a soldier before in the UK. There are soldiers, but you can't see them. They are not in the city. They are not where people are. You can't see them. Okay? So that is what it is.
All right. So finally, let's get into the yearnings of all and sundry state policing. Do you think state policing would maybe put an end to some of these inadequacies that we see today?
State policing cannot put an end to it. It's not about structure. It's about the human tendency, the Nigerian corruptive practice. Do you understand? The way we are now, if you create state police, well, the only difference you're going to have a regional corruption. of what you had at the center. Because if people are still the same, they'll give you the same outcome. Except you uplift people, you take them higher in terms of their faculty. That is why they say this before now is school leaving certificate primary 6. They were using to recruit constables. It was primary 6 before now. They just took it up now to SSC. Yes, and some people are agitating that it should not be SSC, that it should be OND. Okay, you see, because your level of training sometimes is what creates that restraint. People can be corrupt, but when they have training, when they have if a university training, for example, a first degree, I don't think if you put police at first degree that we're going to be having this outcome we're having. It won't be like that.
Police is your friend. I just hope, that this selection of a candidate from the PSC would really and truly be our friends.
And they give us better friends.
Yes, give us a better friendship with their policing of the society. Thank you so very much, Mr. Mansofeli. Thank you for being part of our show.
Welcome.
It was really indeed an incisive discussion with you. And we'd love to equally say thank you to you for taking our time out of your very busy schedule to be part of our show. We'd love to say thank you and thank you once more. But please do well to visit our website at www.enterprisetvnews.com. Like, comment, and follow us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV7. I am Henry Igwedike.
I'm Choma Okoya. Thank you.
On behalf of the entire team, thank you once more, and bye-bye from us.
Bye.
Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.